Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Tin Man's Core Channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tin Man Taylor, and today I'm finishing off my nighttime Spooks scary video marathon for you guys. And the first video that I'll be reacting to today is 5 True Blockbuster Video Horror Stories. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn these lights off, move the camera up here for you guys, and let's get this reaction on the road and in the bag. All right, everybody, here we go.
Years ago, a store called Blockbuster Video used to be a really popular place. The stores were everywhere, and it was the best place for renting movies and DVDs when they were popular.
And I agree. Man, I miss having our Blockbuster here in our town. I always beg my parents, can we go up there to see if they got like a certain movie out already on DVD and I could rent it. I wish somebody could bring this whole Blockbuster chain back.
The stores were always fun to walk inside, and I used to love going there when I was younger.
I did too.
I could probably spend hours inside of them when I was a kid, just looking at all the cool movies and stuff. Well, this story takes place in the early 2000s. I was a young adult at the time and living by myself in an apartment building. I lived pretty close to a Blockbuster video store, and I would go there all the time. I probably rented movies there at least once a week. One night, I went there like any other. After work, I stopped at another nearby store and then went to Blockbuster. It was quiet inside the store because it was getting kind of late. I was looking for a couple of movies to watch over the weekend. After getting inside the store, I walked around checking out the different categories and new movies that were out on DVD. I slowly made my way around the store, looking at movies and reading the back of the DVD boxes to learn more about the films. I was inside the store for probably a good 20 or 30 minutes. Then I had finally made my selections, picking out, I believe, 2 DVDs. I don't remember which ones though. After I went to the front of the store, I checked out with the cashier and then I left. Now, like right after I stepped out of the store, I remember noticing this guy kind of standing around. He had big glasses and kind of longish hair and also had dark hair, a goatee, and was fairly tall. He was holding a VHS movie in his hands and stopped me when I was walking by. The man went on to say that he had to buy the movie in his hands and asked me if I wanted it for free. Apparently, he took too long to return it, and with the late fees, he was better off just buying it. He had already seen the movie and didn't want to keep it, but didn't want to give Blockbuster the satisfaction of getting it back. I understood, and I said sure I would take it. I was always down for a free movie. I didn't even look at it and took the movie and went to my car. The man then walked away. When I got inside of my vehicle, I looked at the movie for the first time. It was a film called Shanghai Noon, and after seeing the box, it looked interesting, and I was happy to get it for free.
Shanghai Noon? Oh, yeah, that's an interesting movie, all right. Starring Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. But a free movie? You don't turn down that. But I don't know, something's fishy. That guy just acted all casual about it because he didn't want it. Makes you wonder if he stole it. I don't know. I don't want to jump ahead into any theories or conclusions, so let's continue on with this guy's story.
So I went back home, and over the weekend, I watched the movies that I had rented myself. Sometime the next week, though, I didn't have any new movies to watch, and I remembered Shanghai Noon. I put the VHS in to watch, but it was not what I expected. The movie was not Shanghai Noon. It looked like a home video. Clearly, the guy had put a different actual video in the case of the movie. But why would he do that? I was curious, so I kept watching it. It appeared as though the man was filming with his own video camera outside in a parking lot at night. He also appeared to be filming from inside of his car. Then he focused his camera on another car in the parking lot. I quickly recognized it to be my car. Then it showed me getting out of the car and walking inside the Blockbuster store.
Oh, I knew it was too good to be true. He did not owe Blockbuster a movie. He was spying on him. Oh, at this point, I'll be pulling the tape out and calling the cops about it.
When I saw that, I was really freaked out. Then the man walked inside the store while still filming about a minute later. As the video went on, it showed him walking around the store. Then I saw myself on camera again. The man had walked into the store and started filming me. I had never noticed this at the time, and he was filming me from a couple of aisles away. I was too busy looking at different movies and stuff. The man walked away from me a couple of times, but kept returning. It was extremely creepy to watch. After a while, the man walked out of the store and the video stopped. I was shocked at what I had seen. I hadn't known any of it was taking place. After that, I did not go back to that Blockbuster for a while. When I did, I luckily didn't see the same man there again. I still wonder about it sometimes. Was it just a random prank, or was the man trying to scare me or stalk me? I really don't know. It's always creepy when somebody's filming you, but today everybody seems to have phones. Back then, you really needed an actual video camera, and for some reason it seemed a lot scarier then. Nothing else strange happened, so I really don't know what exactly that man's deal was.
Yeah, I would like to know what his deal was too. And I'm not surprised an employee at Blockbuster did not peek over the counter and see him filming that other guy. And I agree. Back then, it seemed like it'd be more cumbersome and easy to spot if somebody was filming because they got those big cameras with VHS tapes in them. Nowadays, you got phones like this that have a camera on the outside, so it'd be a lot more discreet. I don't know what this guy's deal was, but obviously he was showing that he was a stalker. But luckily, this was a one-time thing, and hopefully he don't have to go through none of that stuff again.
This story occurred during the summer between my sophomore and junior years of high school in 2003. I remember that it was a Friday, and two of my good friends, Amelia and Jessica, came over to my house. My parents went out that night, and my older brother was off at college. The three of us were going to have a sleepover, and we hung out in my bedroom for a while. We wanted to rent a movie because the three of us had already seen everything in my parents' movie collection. There was a Blockbuster video close within walking distance, so that night we decided to go there. It only took like 15 minutes for the three of us to walk there. We went inside the store and started looking around at all the movies. A few other people were in the store as well, and it took us a while to all agree on something.
And that's another reason why I like going to Blockbuster, because if we didn't have a specific movie at our house, I'd like to go find something new. And also, Blockbuster would have everything categorized in different genres like horror, sci-fi, drama, you name it, they would have it. But it was also neat that they had a section for movies you can actually buy. So if you didn't want to rent nothing, they had stuff for you to buy as well. So that was good.
I remember that we went all around the store and were there for a little while. Finally, after agreeing, we got a movie and went up to check out. That's when we met the guy working that night. I had been to this Blockbuster many times before, but I had never seen this guy, so maybe he was new. The man was not that much older than me, maybe 20 years old, and he had dark brown, spiky hair. He started talking to us, asking us what we were doing that night. Pretty soon, I remember he said that he got off of work soon and asked if he could join our movie night. I remember I figured he was joking, but it sounded kind of creepy, and we all just laughed and said no. He then said he was serious, and it got kind of awkward. He asked us if we wanted to hang out, but none of us wanted to hang out with this guy. Soon, though, we were able to take the movie and were done checking out, so we left. We walked back and then got home to my house again. We were still the only ones home, and I made a pizza and we started watching the movie. The three of us were in the family room, which was at the back side of our house. It was basically like a second living room, and I found it more comfortable than the actual living room. So about an hour into the movie, and I remember I heard this noise come from the window behind us. I didn't think too much of it, but I casually turned around to see what it was.
Oh, I think I know what it was. That creepy Blockbuster employee. It seems like he wasn't going to take no for an answer. Oh man, he found out where they lived.
That's when I saw the guy from Blockbuster standing there in the backyard. The three of us all noticed him at the same time, and we were really creeped out by him being there. He then proceeded to knock on the window. After a few seconds of confusion, we started telling him to go away. Then Jessica ran out of the room towards the kitchen. The man did not appear to be friendly or happy or angry. He just stood there in a kind of way that was really strange. Then he started walking away to the right and went out of sight of the window. Moments later, Jessica came back into the room, saying that she had just locked the back door. I guess she had seen earlier that it was unlocked, and I'm glad that she did because I hadn't known. Well, just moments later, the man tried opening the back door. We heard it rattling, and thankfully it was locked now. We then went around the house and closed every shade on every window, and I called my parents. They did have cell phones, and they said they were coming home. At that point, we didn't know where the guy was, if he left or if he was still out in the yard. We went to a few windows and carefully looked out of them, but didn't see the guy. For the next few minutes, we kept watch, but didn't see him, and we all figured that he left. My parents got home a while later, and we told them about what happened. I remember that then my dad went outside and looked around. We didn't really have a big yard, but in the back there was a small woods that led to the neighbor's yard. My dad went all around the property, and when he got to the backwoods area, he saw the guy. The man had been hiding in the woods. When my dad saw him, though, he took off running and left. After that, he didn't return. I was nervous for the whole night that the man would come back, but thankfully he didn't. The guy ended up getting fired from the Blockbuster, so he didn't last long there. I'm really glad that he didn't get into the house.
I'd be mad if somebody like an employee of Blockbuster or any other store followed me home after I got done with my purchase just to figure out where I live and try to break in. I'm just glad he did not really break in the house and attack one of them girls. And I'm also glad that he was fired. So I know if they go back to Blockbuster, they don't have to worry about him again.
I used to work at a Blockbuster video store back in the day. I think that I worked there for about a year and a half, and I was able to work my way up to manager. One night, I was by myself towards the end of the shift. It was a quiet night, and I was closing. At my store, it closed at 9 p.m., and for the last hour or so, we didn't really get any customers. So as far as I was aware, the store was completely empty besides me. When 9 p.m. was approaching, I went around to make sure nobody was there and straighten up a few things. However, when I got towards the back end of the store, I heard a noise. It was the sound of somebody walking, and I realized that I wasn't alone. It was strange because I hadn't heard or seen anyone in the longest time. Whoever was in here must have almost had to be hiding or something. I called out asking who was there, but I got no response. I said that we were closing soon, but there was still nothing. The footsteps were not that far away, and whoever was in here was just a few aisles out of my sight. I walked closer. I looked around but still couldn't see anything. I could hear them walking away like they were trying to move away from me. After walking faster and going around a corner, I finally saw for a split second a woman go around another corner away from me. She was wearing a winter coat and hat and had dark hair. I called out to her asking what she was doing, but she still didn't answer me. The woman had a slightly disheveled appearance. I stopped hearing her move around, so I kept walking up and down each aisle. Eventually, I spotted her. She was hiding behind a DVD display. When I saw her, she got up and ran to another aisle. I was so confused and wondered if something was wrong with the woman or if she was crazy.
That's what I'll be thinking right about now, because no normal person would be just hiding in a store like this. She's running back and forth like that and not saying nothing. She is mentally disturbed.
I asked her if she was all right, but she still didn't answer. It was very weird. She didn't seem to enjoy running around, like she wasn't smiling or laughing as if it was a game. It was like she was very seriously trying to run away from me. I told her again loudly that we were closing and she would have to leave. Of course, she still didn't answer me. As confused as I was, I went back over to the counter where I worked to finish up some things. I didn't know what I was going to do about the woman hiding in the store, but it was like 8:58 at that point. Then, when I was facing the other direction, I heard the doors to the store open. I looked over and just barely saw the woman walking out. I was glad that she was gone. Very quickly, I walked over to the doors and locked them. Then I was able to do a few tasks before leaving. I left the store at probably 9:05 or so. The parking lot was very quiet, and I walked out to my car, which was the only one there. Right when I got inside, I heard footsteps approaching me. I looked and saw the same woman walking in my direction, but she looked a little different now. Her hair had looked sort of messy before, and her hat had been crooked. Now she looked very neat. Her hair was perfectly in place, and her hat was neatly on her head. She also had a more friendly look on her face. I rolled my window down and the woman said hi to me. She then very politely asked me for a ride. I was so confused, and she mentioned nothing about why she had been running around the store hiding from me.
Oh, heck no. This woman's probably got a multiple personality disorder. I mean, I would feel uncomfortable picking somebody up like that because you never know, they might change personalities the next second. This dude needs to be careful.
It almost seemed like a different woman, but no, this was definitely the same person. Remembering her past behavior, I told her no, I could not give her a ride. The woman asked if I was sure, still being polite, and I said yes. Then she said okay, and I put my window back up. She started to walk away towards the back of my car. When she did, though, she suddenly reached for my door handle really fast and tried opening the back door to the car. It was thankfully locked. After finding out she was locked, she loudly banged on it twice and appeared to kick at my door. I then hit the gas and drove away. I left the woman standing in the parking lot looking at me as I drove off. I have no idea why she did the things that she did. My best guess is drugs. She acted so different and normal when she was talking to me, though. I luckily never saw her again in my time working at Blockbuster.
You know, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, drugs can mess people up for sure. So I could see this woman was on some that made her act all crazy in the store and then go back to a somewhat pleasant personality. But once he pulled out of there, he should have called the cops just to see if they can go grab that girl and make sure she is banned from that location. But I'm just glad he did not get hurt, nevertheless.
This happened one sunny Saturday morning in 1993. I'm a female and was 13 years old at the time. I remember that my mom had to do some shopping and I went with her. It was just the two of us, and we went to this strip mall that was fairly close to where we lived. The strip mall had several different stores as well as restaurants in it. We went to a store where my mom was shopping, and I found it pretty boring. There was also a Blockbuster store that was right next door, which was always interesting. So I told my mom that I was going to go next door to Blockbuster and look around. My mom said it was fine, and when she was done, she would come and let me know. So I left the store and then walked into the Blockbuster. When I got inside, I started to walk around and look at the movies. Within being inside of the store for maybe 5 minutes, I remember noticing this man kind of staring at me. He was standing at the end of the aisle, and I saw him out of the corner of my eye. I couldn't tell at first, so I looked over. The guy was just kind of staring at me. I didn't know him or anything. I stayed there for about a minute or so, and so did the man. Him just standing there, though, and seemingly looking at me was getting uncomfortable, so I walked away. I went to another aisle to look at stuff. Before long, though, I noticed a man slowly walk into that aisle as well. After that, I started to walk around the store. Wherever I went, it didn't take long before the man would show up. I was not sure where he had come from or what, but I decided to leave the Blockbuster and go back to the store that my mom was in. I walked out and then went to the store next door and went inside. I found my mom, and I did not tell her about the creepy guy. For the next few minutes, I just shopped with her. Then I noticed the man was now inside of this store. He was not following me around, but was kind of standing at the complete opposite other side.
Oh, I believe he is following you around, but he's just trying to act like he ain't. He's a stalker. Thank God she did the right thing to walk over to the store with her mom, but she should have told her about what this guy's doing. Then she could probably stand up for her and tell that guy to beat it before she gets security involved.
He was looking in my direction, though. By this point, I was very weirded out by his behavior. I didn't know if he was really trying to follow me around, but it sure seemed like it. I tried to just ignore it, though. I didn't really feel in danger now that I was with my mom again. Still, I was very surprised that the man went in this store as well. We didn't shop there for much longer in that store. Soon my mom checked out and then we left. We got into our car in the strip mall parking lot, which was not that large. It was basically just two long rows of parking spaces. After getting in the car, I noticed a man walking out to another car that was parked a ways down. I was sure to realize which car he entered. We started to leave, and then I noticed the man's car start to leave as well after us. This shocked me. After pulling out of the lot and the man doing the same thing, I told my mom about it. She noticed the car, and when she heard the guy had been following me around Blockbuster, she stopped and then made a U-turn. The guy behind us did as well. My mom then went back into the parking lot of the strip mall and stopped the car. At first, the man did the same thing. My mom then got out of the car. She was angry and I guess wanted to confront the guy. However, after my mom got out, the guy backed up his car and then turned it around. He quickly drove away again, leaving the strip mall and going out of sight. After that, we were able to go home. I'm glad that I told my mom about the guy and he stopped following us. I'm not sure what would have happened if not.
Oh, if you didn't tell your mom, he probably would have followed you girls home. And then he'll know where you lived at and he'll probably break in to kidnap you there. Or rob you guys, you never know. But yeah, way to go, Mom, for turning that car around and park just to go confront that guy. But yeah, that would be a scary thing to experience for sure. All right, let's get to the final story.
I used to work at a Blockbuster video back in the day. This is when they were really popular and all over the place. I was 17 at the time, and the Blockbuster by my parents' house was one of my first jobs. My time working there was mostly good. I enjoyed Blockbuster and my coworkers because I became friends with a number of them. After I had been working there for a while, I remember that we got a new coworker though. He always seemed a little bit strange and mysterious. I remember that he was around my age, maybe slightly older. His name was actually Justin, but my coworkers always referred to him as Timberlake. It was because of his name, but also because he slightly resembled Justin Timberlake. But that was really just because the guy's hair was dyed blonde, and at the time, Justin Timberlake's also was. But this Justin guy at work was known for being kind of odd, like I mentioned. Personally, in my experiences working with him, he just seemed kind of unfriendly. I never really talked to him or even worked with him all that much. However, one night I worked with him until a little bit later at night. We didn't really talk to each other much from what I could remember, and we both got off of work at around the same time that night. I recall that I drove home back to my parents' house, which was a little over 5 minutes away. It was nighttime and the roads were very quiet. I didn't have to go on any roads that were that busy either, so I noticed that Justin appeared to be driving right behind me the entire way. He was sort of a far ways back though, but every time I would turn, a short time later, I would see his car turning around the corner. As I got closer to my house, I was wondering why he was driving behind me. I didn't think that he lived in my neighborhood, because I knew he hadn't gone to my school. Soon, I came to my street, and he turned onto it after me. When I reached my house, though, I pulled into my driveway, and he did not. He kept driving down the street. I went inside and then looked out of the window. A short time later, I saw Justin driving back down, and then he went out of sight. I didn't really know why he did this. It was very strange, but for the most part, I just forgot about it. It was just a few days later when something really crazy happened. It was late at night, and I was the only one who was still up. My parents had gone to bed, and I was in my room. It was probably about midnight. I just remember that out of nowhere, I heard the back door to the house suddenly fly open. I had a bad feeling about it immediately, and was afraid that somebody was breaking in. I heard someone walk into the house, but I told myself that it had to be one of my parents. Maybe they had gone outside without me knowing, because obviously we locked all the doors every night, and I just couldn't imagine somebody would break in. After hearing the person walking around near the back end of the house for a short time, I kept telling myself that it was my dad, but I just had to see for myself. So I left my bedroom and started walking down the hallway and then down the stairs.
I got a feeling it's not his dad, it's that Justin character. But yeah, I figured if he was acting all creepy at work and then he followed him home and he knows where he lives at now, he was probably planning on robbing some stuff from them.
Soon I reached the main level of the house. When I got there, every light was off. I looked around and then saw him. Justin from work at Blockbuster was standing there inside of our house. I really couldn't believe it. He looked surprised to see me, but I will tell you, I was way more surprised to see him. As soon as he saw me, though, he turned around and took off. He ran to the back of the house and then left out the back door. I walked over there, still in shock. The back door appeared to have been pried open with maybe a crowbar, but it had been locked. I then woke my parents and called the police. Justin was long gone, but I knew exactly who he was. He was quickly found, and luckily hadn't stolen anything. I later found out that Justin had somehow heard that my parents were wealthy, I guess from a coworker. Yes, my parents did have some money, and our house was nice, but we weren't filthy rich or anything. I mean, I still worked at Blockbuster to get my own money, but apparently Justin thought that he could rob our house. That also explained why he followed me home, to get my address. I will never forget that crazy experience.
I knew he had to go in there to rob something from them, but thank God he didn't. I'm glad that they found him, but I would have fired him for doing that too. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more nighttime spooks reactions like this. This has been another successful installment of the Tim Man's Corner channel. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tim Man Taylor. I say that's a wrap, and have a nice day, y'all.